afternoon. I'm Al Kresta. Steve, of course, is the producer and really writer for the film series Footprints of God, Salvation History from Abraham to Augustine. Steve has just finished up his a movie, Abraham. It's number 8, but it's the first in the series, but it's number 8 in the production.
Right.
And you just, good to have you, by the way.
Thanks, Al.
Okay.
Good to be here.
Why did you wait so long to do the first one?
The reason I waited is because we couldn't get into Iraq.
Okay.
And I had people say to me, well, just don't go to Iraq. Just show pictures. Show a map. Show pictures of the ziggurat, the temple, and show pictures of what it's like. I said, are you kidding? That's not the way I do things. In my movies, you know that you're there. And I'm not going to do it until I can get there. And it took us 10 years before we could break in. We couldn't get a visa to go.
You've wanted to do this one for a long time.
I always knew it would be my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Now tell us why.
Well, in the documentary I say, why should we care about these old guys? They're 4,000 years ago. What do they have to do with us today? And that's a legitimate question. These old bearded guys in robes and sandals smelled like goats, and what do they have to do with me? But I realized that it's the beginning of everything. As a Christian, it goes back to the beginning, and that's where this movie starts. In fact, it starts before that. The very first lines you hear is, "Before anything existed, there was God." Yeah. And God said, and then I kind of appear in the galaxy, narrating the stars being created. But we move quickly from there to Abraham. Abraham is a man that God called his friend. He didn't call me his friend. He didn't call you or anybody who were listening to us. Yeah. And nobody else in the Bible is called the friend of God. Who's called the friend of God? Abraham, 3 times. Yeah. This is a significant character. Yeah. Abraham's the only one that the Trinity came down to talk to him.
This is a fascinating point.
Yeah, there's others that the angel of the Lord came down and they met God in the burning bush, but God came down with all 6 feet, so to speak, to meet Abraham. Why? Because Abraham is the foundation of everything. And when you read the Gospel of John, it starts out with in the beginning. Why? Because he's telling you, you better understand the first book that started in the beginning if you want to understand mine. That's everything begins in Genesis. It's the seedbed of everything. And if you understand Genesis, you understand everything else that follows it.
Yeah. So Abraham is the first biblical character that the text really fleshes out his personality a bit.
It sure does, even his weaknesses.
Yeah, very much so. And that's, I think, lost on many of us.
Yeah.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Where was he born? What kind of life was he living? How did he worship?
Yeah, well, this is one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, and I thought this would be my favorite, is because we know a lot about Jesus. We know a lot about Mary, where they went, where they lived. We know this from the Rosary, from the Gospels. Where's Abraham from? What God did he worship before he worshipped Yahweh, the God of Israel? Was he an Israelite? No. Was he a Jew? No, he wasn't. He was a Hebrew. And he came from where we today call Iraq. It's called Mesopotamia, but that word means between 2 rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. So we had to go there. And we went, followed him through that land. There is still a temple there that he worshipped at. And it's eroded away, but it's still there. You can still go up 2 stories of it. It was at one time 4 levels. You could still today go up 2 levels. You can't get there right now because of the problems. But there was an opening for us in time. It was unbelievable, the timing of the Lord. And he worshipped there till he was 75 years old. His father and his grandfather worshipped there, and they worshipped a god called Nana. Nana, the god of the moon.
Interesting.
It was the patron god of Ur of the Chaldeans, and that's where he lived in Ur.
So for the length of what we normally consider an average human lifespan, he worshipped a different God.
Yeah, I'm 60 years old. For my life plus another 15 years I'm just thinking of when I turned 75. For that whole time I've been worshiping Nana, the god of the moon.
Yeah. He's not a young buck looking for an adventure.
No.
He's established, he's stable, he's wealthy, he's got a reputation that's honored, and all of a sudden he is called to set out to a land he has no idea.
This guy was an amazing person, and his wife, Sarah, was as well. And the reason that I like this movie and the reason that I like Abraham is because he was one tough buzzard. He held on, the way I keep saying in the movie, he latched onto God and he wouldn't let go.
Well, listen, tell people how they can stay in touch with you and get the DVD.
CatholicConvert.com. Go to our store, and right now we have a special. If you get all 8 of the DVDs we have, we'll give one of my books, signed book, free, go along with it. But it's CatholicConvert.com. Go to my store.
I think, arguably, this is your best so far.
Thank you. I think so, too.
I loved it. So, thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Al.